Hello and greetings. This video is a Game Master's Guide of Episode 10 of the Traveler campaign, Secrets of the Ancients, which is the last episode of the campaign. This video is the 11th and last video in a series of 11 videos. I would recommend watching the first 10 videos before watching this one. So, does this episode end the campaign with a bang? Well, yes, it does. However, because much of the campaign was too railroady, I was not too enthusiastic by the time I reached the end, even though it does have an exciting ending. At the same time, it does have a few loose threads by the end, which can be molded into further adventures by the referee, who I would rather call the Game Master instead. Actually, Mongoose Publishing does have a sequel to the Secrets of the Ancients campaign, which is the Wrath of the Ancients campaign. At the same time, Mongoose Publishing does have a prequel to the Secrets of the Ancients campaign, which is the Mysteries of the Ancients campaign. Since I was underwhelmed by the Secrets of the Ancients campaign, I am not too enthusiastic about reading either of them. Anyway, back to you, Peaches.
Hello, and welcome to the RPGmodsFan spaceship. I am Peaches, and I will be your guide through the 10th and last episode/adventure of the Traveler, Secrets of the Ancients campaign. I will now discuss the episode/adventure itself, and this video will contain spoilers. Unless you are a game master who will be running this adventure for their players, or are a player who already played through this adventure and are watching this video for nostalgia purposes, I would suggest not to watch the rest of this video. Previously on Secrets of the Ancients. In an appropriated scout ship, the travelers journeyed out of Imperium space and into Varga space. During their journey, they obtained several advanced ancient devices from Grandfather's secret cache, including protective shimmer suits and a star trigger. Within the youth subsector of the Gaerth sector, the travelers identified a garden world in the Zoe star system as being the location of a portal that leads to Seven's secret base. Grandfather Lies is the 10th and concluding adventure/episode in the Secrets of the Ancients campaign. A synopsis of the adventure would be as follows. The travelers make their way through Seven's nightmare realm of murderous machines. By the adventure's end, the travelers need to decide who to back, Grandfather or Seven. I would summarize the adventure as follows. Protected by their shimmer suits, the travelers dive into the black depths of the oceans of Zoe. Deep beneath the waves, they pass through the dark gate portal into a vast hidden fortress located in the very heart of the planet. There, in a nightmare city lit by a dying star, they find Seven's new body being constructed by his family archive. Here, the servants of Seven live in the shadows of unimaginable technologies. The travelers are attacked by Seven's defenses soon after they arrive, and they must make their way across the alien city using stealth, subterfuge, or strength of arms. They travel to the family archive, where Grandfather attempts to sabotage Seven's resurrection, but he is stunned by a concealed psionic defense mechanism. The travelers are captured and interrogated by Seven's agent, Vlen Baquet. He puts forward the case for betraying Grandfather and helping Seven. The travelers must choose which ancient they serve. If they choose to aid Seven, then Grandfather is executed. If they choose Grandfather, they must kill Len Baquet before returning to the archive. At the archive, Grandfather disables it, ensuring that when the pocket universe collapses, Seven will be permanently erased. He also activates the star trigger to destroy Seven's domain. There are 3 important non-player characters in this adventure: Vlen Baquet, Grandfather, and Seven. Although the ancient droid, Grandfather Yaskoidre, has perished during a previous episode, he has backed up his memories into one of the travelers. These memories are active, and Grandfather is capable of taking control of his host's body whenever he wishes. Since Grandfather has extraordinary psionic, intellect, science, and engineering skills and abilities, the Game Master can also have Grandfather manifest as a Deus Ex Machina, if circumstances warrant. During the events of the previous adventure, Grandfather stores a star trigger device on the Traveler's spaceship. This ancient device has the power to make a star explode into a supernova. During the events of this adventure, at Seven's family archive, Grandfather will be able to flash grow a clone droid body and, psionically, transfer his memories and essence from the host's mind and into the blank mind of the cloned droid. Grandfather's renegade son, Seven, is the main antagonist of the campaign. Seven prefers to be called Master. He is now trapped in Grandfather's collapsing pocket universe. The Traveler's goal is to find and destroy Seven's family archive so that he cannot resurrect himself. In this adventure, the Traveler's journey to and explore Seven's domain, where his family archive is located. One way or another, all the Travelers should have a connection with Uncle Vlen Baquet. One of the Travelers is Uncle Baquet's niece or nephew. Vlen Baquet is actually a loyal agent of Seven. At the beginning of the campaign, the Travelers brought Uncle Baquet's corpse to his funeral. Soon after the funeral, the Travelers are chased after by Imperial intelligence. While they are being chased, Uncle Baquet's body is retrieved by Seven's servants, and, via ancient technology, Uncle Baquet is cybernetically resurrected. In this adventure, the Travelers reunite with Uncle Baquet. He then tries to persuade them to Seven's side. I will now go through the adventure's timeline of events. My apologies in advance. I will be repeating some things I have already mentioned before. The first event of this adventure is a replay of the last event of the previous adventure. Wearing their shimmer suits, the Travelers are sinking down in Zoe's largest and deepest ocean to the entrance of Seven's domain. They then enter an artificial shaft that is big enough to admit a huge capital ship. At the bottom of the shaft is a shimmering energy membrane that teleports the Travelers to Seven's domain. They find themselves in a huge starport hangar. There are two ships docked there, both are 200-ton Varga courier vessels belonging to the Church of the Chosen Ones. Grandfather takes possession of the Traveler, hosting his memories, and explains his plan to the rest of the Travelers. He says that somewhere nearby is Seven's family archive, which is a machine that will resurrect him when he is destroyed by the collapse of Grandfather's pocket universe. Grandfather says they need to find the family archive using stealth. Grandfather then withdraws into the mind of his host. Currently, the starport is empty. When they step outside the hangar, the Travelers realize that they are in an unimaginably vast cavern whose far walls are impossible to see. The cavern is lit by a tiny hazy red star that is at least 1,000 kilometers above them. Then, the Travelers realize that the cavern resembles more like a Dyson sphere. Turns out, Seven's domain is within the very core of planet Zoe. Nearby, there is a gravitic levitation train station where the Travelers board an empty train that then glides to the city within the domain. Inside the cavern, the Travelers see factories the size of cities and other incomprehensible machines. Seven is building a fleet of sentient warships. As they travel to the city, the Travelers can see it is an incredible place where building, machine, and organic growth are all one. The living machine structures grow like symmetrical trees. There are also numerous slowly moving floating platforms that provide shade to the city. The largest floating platform hangs far above the city. On it is Seven's replacement ship/body being reconstructed. Seven's domain operates at technology level 25. Within each structure of the city, rooms move and reconfigure themselves as necessary to meet the needs of their inhabitants. There are teleportals throughout the city, linking all locations with each other. However, these teleportals can only be used by city residents who have control chips implanted within them. Although the city could hold millions, it is now mostly empty, with a population that is only a few 100,000. The city is divided into 5 sections. They are Quarter of the Chosen, Public Quarter, Droid District, Quarter of Heroes, and floating platforms. Except for the floating platforms, and assuming they do not reveal themselves, the travelers can move freely in all other locations of the city. However, the Droin district will be trickier to move around in, since humans rarely visit that section of the city. The grave train the travelers are on first stops at the Quarter of the Chosen. The Quarter of the Chosen is inhabited by the Vaga priests and fanatics of the Church of the Chosen Ones. The fanatics are not allowed in other parts of the city. However, the priests are permitted to visit the city to reinforce their faith. They see the city as heaven, and this is not a wholly inaccurate perception. The city is an incredible wonderland. There is no suffering here, no poverty, no lack of comforts, and no disease. At the Quarter of the Chosen, aged priests can be restored to youth, sick priests can be healed, and even the dead can be resurrected. The central area of the city is the public quarter. There are large open squares and marketplaces here, as well as parks, theaters, and civic arenas. There are museums of the history of the ancient race. Zoos, where there are genetic archives of billions of different species on file. And machines that can fast grow clones of whatever animal or plant the inhabitants can desire. The largest section of the city is the Droin district. There are hundreds of thousands of Droin inhabitants, and most are loyal to Seven. Due to radical augmentation, some may not be recognizable as Droin to the traveler characters. Seven servants and agents, like Vlen Baket and Nava from the prior episode, reside at the Quarter of the Heroes. Seven has around 100 such agents, most are human. Within this section of the city is a perfect replica of Len Baket's hunting lodge on Alel, including its surrounding forest. The floating platforms are accessible only via teleportal or flight. While the travelers may be able to conceal themselves for a while, they will almost certainly trip an alarm at some point during their exploration of the city. The city's response depends on how hostile and how much of a threat the travelers pose. The buildings around the travelers move to block off any exits. Streets close and corridors vanish as the living structures exude new walls to contain the suspect characters. One of the buildings then constructs a face to speak with the travelers, asking them to account for their suspicious actions. The city keeps order when necessary using automated security drones. These robots are intended to deal with troublesome Vaga petitioners and are not a significant threat to the shimmer-suit armored travelers. If the drones are unable to deal with the problem, then the city automatically alerts a group of armed Droin. These Droin are equipped with Tech Level 25 weapons and armor. The Droin strike team fly across the city and attack the travelers from above. If the Droin are unable to disable the travelers, then the city attempts to restrain the characters until the heavy strike team can be mobilized. The buildings link with each other and try to encase the travelers in a dome of solid material. The ground beneath the travelers softens into a sticky morass of epoxy. The city's ultimate recourse to a group of intruders is to deploy a heavy strike team consisting of several assassin drones accompanied by a scourge machine. The scourge machine is much bigger and much nastier versions of the assassin drones. It is the size of a large aircraft, and its assortment of weapons includes relativity weapons and antimatter cannons. It has the firepower to destroy a capital ship. The ultimate goal of the travelers is to reach the floating platforms above the city. There are several ways to reach these platforms and the family archive, which the campaign book details out. Once the travelers reach a floating platform, they can jump from platform to platform. The largest floating platform contains Seven's family archive. Guarding the entrance to the archive are a pair of scourge machines. Inside the archive, Grandfather takes complete control of his host and leads the travelers to the heart of the archive. Here, the travelers find a spinning armature of light and psionic energy covered in Droin glyphs. Grandfather begins to operate the controls and asks the travelers to defend their position. They are then attacked by waves of assassin drones and Droin strike teams. Seven's followers cannot risk damaging the archive, so they do not deploy heavy weapons. Grandfather fast grows a new cloned Droin body and psionically transfers himself to it. Grandfather's former host now has control of their body. The newly formed grandfather again touches the controls, but there is a flash of light, and all the characters, including grandfather, are knocked unconscious. The travelers reawaken in Vlen Baket's replica hunting lodge. They are still wearing their shimmer suits, but all ancient technology within them have been deactivated. Grandfather is in a corner of the room, paralyzed. Uncle Len Baket greets the travelers. Just as a reminder, back at the beginning of the campaign, one of the travelers is Uncle Baket's nephew or niece, who he is fond of. He informs the travelers of the following: that others wanted them dead, but he has convinced them to delay the execution. That Seven, who he calls the Master, will be reborn soon. That he has been a servant of Seven for over 1,000 years. That grandfather lied, and that the Droin were just another experiment in creating a slave race. Uncle Baket says the travelers have a choice to make. But, before making the choice, he explains the following. Seven believes he and Grandfather Yaskoidre are the last of the ancients. After Grandfather is dead, Seven will take over all of charted space, probably in a couple of decades. The ancients regards the other intelligent races in the galaxy as servants and as pets. There are other threats in the galaxy and beyond. The self-replicating death machines, known as the Diabayus, for instance, are still out there. Another threat are the Primordials, a race that preceded even the ancients, and Seven has detected their activity, emanating from the heart of the galaxy. Only a galactic empire, united under Seven's reign, will be able to resist such alien forces. Uncle Baket does not view life under Seven as slavery. He says that under Seven, there will be no more suffering, no more poverty, no more war. Once charted space bows to him, Seven will distribute advanced ancient technology throughout the realm. Those who serve him will be immortal. Those who resist Seven must be destroyed for the good of the galaxy. Grandfather Yaskoidre is only interested in his scientific research and does not care for the other races. Uncle Baket reminds the travelers that they have visited Grandfather's pocket universe and have seen firsthand that this is true. He then asks, which ancient would they prefer to serve? After each traveler has made their choice, the protostar within Seven's domain begins flaring, and the ground shakes. This is being caused by the star trigger device that Grandfather stored on the traveler's ship, which is currently orbiting Zoe. Assuming the travelers have sided with Grandfather, they can take this opportunity to defeat Uncle Baket and remove the psionic inhibitor device on Grandfather's forehead. If the travelers sided with Seven, then when Seven returns, he will be able to stabilize the protostar. If they were deceitful in siding with Seven, Seven will be able to psionically detect their thoughts and deceit and will vaporize them on the spot. Anyway, for the rest of this adventure, I will assume the characters have sided with Grandfather. Once freed from the inhibitor device, he tells the travelers that they must return to Seven's family archive at once. As they travel to the floating platform or from the platform, they will see that the city is now in chaos due to the solar flares erupting out of the protostar. The cavern walls are beginning to melt into magma. Basically, Seven's domain is facing the apocalypse. Grandfather and the travelers return to Seven's family archive. While Grandfather meddles with the family archive, the travelers can be occupied with fighting off assassin drones, securing a means of escape from the city, and/or looting for ancient technology. Grandfather manages to thwart Seven's attempt of rebirth, and soon, the solar flares will kill him and destroy his family archive permanently. The travelers' next task is to escape from the city and from Seven's domain. The campaign book does not provide details on this part of the adventure. Instead, the lazy author just provided some guidelines. The easiest means of escape is for Grandfather to psionically teleport everyone back to the traveler's ship. Once back aboard their ship, the travelers are free to journey wherever they wish. If they are working for the Imperial Intelligence, they can travel to the Triad system and report to Arisa or Galen. From there, they will be escorted back to Imperial space. The next event serves as an epilogue to the campaign and depends on the choices the travelers have made. Did the travelers side with Seven? Then Seven will take over charted space, with the travelers, possibly, serving as his agents. Did Grandfather and Seven die? Then the races of charted space are now free from their meddling. Did Grandfather survive? If so, he will be busy rebuilding. If the travelers are on good terms with him, then they can be recruited to be his agents. The campaign book acknowledges that there will be some loose plot threads by the end of the campaign. Loose threads from which the game master can build adventures around. As one example, if the travelers escaped the Gaerth prison hulk, then they are wanted fugitives. Do they return to the Imperium or seek a new life in the Vaga extents? Also, at this point, the travelers know more secrets of the ancients than anyone else. This would make them invaluable assets to the Imperial Scout Service or to the University of Regina. What of the rest of Seven's servants? Will they want revenge on the travelers? Or will they go renegade, using ancient technology, to carve out their own empires? Was there some truth to Seven's paranoid ramblings about the need to unite the galaxy against some unseen enemies?
As a whole, the Secrets of the Ancients campaign was too railroady. The campaign seemed more like a novel instead of a game. Hence, I did not like it, and would not recommend it, unfortunately. However, in the hands of a skilled game master like sorry for mispronouncing your name, like Seth Skorkowsky, I am sure it can be transformed into an enjoyable campaign. If you have any ideas on how to make this adventure and the whole campaign even better, please share them in the comments below. Back to you, Peaches.
Thank you for watching, from all of us at the RPGmodsFan spaceship. Hope this video has been informative and entertaining. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We do like feedback, and we try to respond to as many comments as we can. Till next time, on behalf of RPGmodsFan, I am Peaches, saying cheers, have a good day, and goodbye.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it control. Feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.